Hi, I'm David Brannon. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, how can a lawyer help with my workers' compensation claim? So after watching this, you'll know some of the practical things that a lawyer can do to help you with your claim and how you go about getting that help. Now, if you like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us some comments. We'd love to hear from you. So what good is a lawyer? Can they really help with your workers' compensation claim? I'd like to take you through now some of the practical things lawyers can do to help you. Now, some of them are going to be free, some of them you would need to pay for. So let's start with the free stuff. There are lawyers, our law firm included, that will give you a free case review. That is a very valuable thing that you should take advantage of, in that we will review your situation, look at the documents that you have. We'll even reach out and get a copy of your workers' compensation claim file, review that as well, and give you an idea of what are the real reasons for denial here, what are some of the gaps in information, and what's the best strategy you can use going forward. So another thing you can get from a law firm or a lawyer is also, as part of a free process, you can also get explained how things work. Some law firms like us will have free information that you can read, and if you phone in, we can point out the free information and other resources, and you can then use that to educate yourself. So that is another practical way that a law firm can help you, by kind of pointing you in the right direction, explaining how the process works, so that you can even then do a better job handling things yourself. Now, if you are going to work with a lawyer and hire them to help with your case, and in some cases, firms like ours will work on kind of a no-win, no-fee basis, so you don't have to pay anything up front, but we will work on the case and we get kind of paid if we win. So what does a lawyer do in that type of situation? Well, you have a lawyer representing you fully, and we would be able to get your claim file, review it, identify the red flags, the things that need to be fixed, the gaps in information. That is the real value of getting a lawyer. Winning these cases comes down to knowing what is important to the decision maker, either the person at workers' comp or the judge at the workers' compensation tribunal, knowing what they expect, knowing what their beliefs are, and then making sure that you're presenting a case that's convincing. That all starts with reviewing your situation to get the lay of the land and see how has it been presented so far, what are the gaps in information, what are some of the red flags we need to address, and then your lawyers will then go about fixing all those things. And then once those things are fixed, you can do a much more convincing presentation of your case, and it's much more likely to be approved. So as part of that whole process, what your lawyers can then do is go about getting the information. It's one thing to know what's needed, it's another to get it. Sometimes there's costs associated with getting medical reports. Sometimes it's just hard to get the doctors to want to respond and give the information. Lawyers who know what they're doing are able to write to the doctor with specific questions to make it easier for the doctor to talk about the things that are important and that the tribunal judge would want to know about. And there's nothing improper about that. It's just that if you write to a doctor and just generally ask them things, they're going to generally say things, and generally it's not going to work out for you. You need to have specific questions to the doctor, and that's a thing that disability lawyers are going to be good at, is getting those specific questions to the doctors that are going to be on the very issues that are needed to be clarified for your case. The other big things that lawyers will be able to do for you is prepare all the written submissions. One thing I learned early on as a lawyer, and I was taught this by lawyers who are much better than me and probably still are, that you win these cases with the writing in most situations. So the written component of these cases is so important. It frames everything. So what a good lawyer is going to be able to do is get really well focused and written submissions. Written submissions just means you're writing in your reasons for why the case should be approved. You're pulling together all the information and making it easy for the decision maker to say yes. If you just send them in a jumbled mess and they have to kind of synthesize it all themselves, you're asking for trouble, because they may be, if they got to synthesize it all themselves, they may be attracted to information that goes against you. Whereas if you have a convincing submission to them where you've written it all together, you pulled it all in, they can be look at this and say, wow, it can take them down the path, and they can see how this thing should be approved. So that is where a lawyer will bring big value, is preparing these written submissions for internally with workers' comp or externally to the workers' compensation tribunal. Now, finally, the last thing that a lawyer will be able to do for you is actually represent you at your workers' compensation tribunal hearing. I can't stress how important this tribunal hearing is. It is really your last chance to present your case. It's the last chance you get to put evidence in. It's your last chance to give your own testimony, and so you have to do a good job. This is where a lawyer who understands how things work with doing court hearings, that these hearings are all about getting the right evidence in and presenting it properly to the judge. If you do not have if you make a mistake at that point, it doesn't matter what the truth of the matter is. If you have not presented it properly and argued it properly in front of the judge, you will lose, even if you actually are disabled. So you need to go into these hearings being prepared and being able to put on a very convincing presentation, and a lawyer is going to help you with that big time. The Workers' Compensation Tribunal and your employer are going to be involved in this process. They are usually going to be against you in most cases. They will also have their own lawyers. So it is very important that you have legal representation throughout this process, because you really are going to be ganged up on. It is not a fair situation, and that they're going to have lawyers that know exactly how to work the system to their favor, and you cannot be left to your own devices. You need to have representation in this system, and we would recommend that you look at hiring us or getting other legal assistance that's out there. There you have it. I've taken you through practical ways that a lawyer can help you with your workers' compensation claim. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Leave us some comments, and I'm happy to respond to you in the comments. And hit the subscribe so you get these videos every week.